Assalamualaikum. We will start our presentation with the introduction of portfolio. As money manager, we will help our client to select 5 most efficient stocks that would maximize the yield of our client and also diversify risk by using our investment expertise. So, we create a portfolio for the investor consisting of 5 active stock listed on Bursa Malaysia, which are Kosim Rubber, OCK Group Berhad, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, Malaysia Airport Holding Berhad, and AMMB Holding Berhad.
So here is the economic analysis of our project. One of the economic factors is monetary and fiscal policy. Monetary policy is where the government can adjust the money supply and interest rate. And fiscal policy is where it controls the economic growth and relate to the use of government spending and taxation.
Next is import and export. An import refers to a product and service produced abroad that is purchased in the home of country. Import and export are components of international trade. Export lead to an inflow of fund to the seller country since export transactions involve selling domestic goods and service to foreign buyers. The figure shown is the Malaysian trade statistics at 2004 until 2018.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is HUSNA My metric number is 264673. I'll be presenting the analysis of Kosam Rubber Industries Berhad. Kosam Rubber Industries Berhad is one of the companies that we chose. It produces gloves and widely used in healthcare sector. The first one is industry analysis. For growth cycle of industry, since the spreading of COVID-19, the demand for rubber gloves increased as many people want to maintain a hygienic environment. Top Glove, Harta Lega, Supermax are Kosan's competitors and recognized as the top world market for rubber gloves. Next, for fundamental analysis, the first one is liquidity ratio. As you can see from here, it shows that Kosan quick ratio has dropped from 1.5 to 0.9. Zooming into the current ratio, Kosan has improved its cash and equivalent value in 2019. Okay, as we can see from here, the leverage ratio, it shows that a growing trend of debt over the 3 years. Next is profitability ratio. Okay, the ROA, ROE and gross profit margin have shown the same pattern, which is declining in 2018 and rising in 2019. For common stock ratio, the share of Kosan were propelled by a rise of 70 ringgit 57 cent in EPS, and the PE ratio is down over the 3 years. Next is technical analysis. MACD showing a downtrend on 11 December 2020. The blue line has crossed the red line. So this means the indicator of downtrend called as death cross. For RSI, it also shows a downtrend and there is selling pressure as well. The share price has dropped to the support level, RM 4.80, and it is good if the investor wait for the share price to bounce back. For moving average, the share price has fluctuated significantly due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Support and resistance, the recent support fell to RM 5.30 and there is when the share price touched 5.30 on 11 December, it bounced back and closed at 5.39.
My name is NURUL binti Asri. My metric number 264113, and I would like to present about Malaysia Airport Holding Berhad. Background company. Malaysia Airport responsibilities include the administration, service and maintenance as well as the construction of airport with a primary emphasis on the operating performance, protection and security of travelers, freights and aircraft operations. Industry analysis. Growth cycle of industry. Malaysia Airport will keep up with current improvement within coronavirus outbreak that will have a bad effect on airline traffic. Malaysia Airport indicates that the direct impact on air transport may be greater due to the wider transmission. but its rotation may be smoother in the actually due to all the new tech as well as reliability of impact management. Fundamental analysis. Liquidity ratio. Based on the graph, Malaysia Airport current ratio in 2018 greater degree of liquidity is indicated by the higher current ratio. Besides that, quick ratio for Malaysia Airport has better overall liquidity, particularly in the year 2018. Leverage ratio. Based on the graph, the increase of debt to equity ratio from 2017 to 2019 means that Malaysia Airport keep higher the leverage and has a lack of equity position. Besides that, the debt to asset ratio shows a good indicator because generally the lower of the ratio, the more committed the shareholder are in managing the business. Next, Malaysia Airport's time interest earned shows that Malaysia Airport still have enough cash to continue spending in the industry despite having settled its debt. Profitability ratio. Based on the graph, ROE shows that Malaysia Airport is not so efficient in generating profit using its asset in the year 2019. Besides that, ROE shows Malaysia Airport performance in the year 2019 is not very good. However, net profit margin increase shows that the company maybe need to upgrade their sales during the next year to become the more effectively. Common stock ratio. Based on the graph, the EPS decrease in 2019 is not good because the higher of EPS is better. Besides that, the price earning ratio increase in 2019 shows that this company has a good stock. Technical analysis. MACD. Starting December, we can see that there's turn back to a bearish signal which comments that the stock price will start to fall because of the MACD line start to move downward and cross below the signal line. It is the time for investor to do the decision whether sell their stock to avoid get lost or continue hold their stock. Relative Strength Index. The RSI is moving from 30% to 70% on the 2 December 2020 until 11 December 2020. It shows that there is a bullish condition. Moving average. We can see that the MA line of October 2020 to December 2020 continues to fall. It shows that the company is in a downward trend and this means sell signal. Support and resistance. The support level for Malaysia Airport during the trading cycle is RM 4.201. The resistance level for Malaysia Airport is RM 5.798 during trading days. Means the stock is more likely to bounce off this level than to push through. That's all. Thank you.
This is FARAH AZWINN. My matric number is 264243. My part is analyze Tenaga Nasional Berhad Company. For the company background, TNB Nasional Berhad, known as a Tenaga Nasional or simply as a Tenaga. TNB's core activity are in the generation, transmission and distribution of electricity. In addition to being a nation's primary electricity generation enterprise, TNB also transmit and distribute all the electricity in Peninsula Malaysia, Sabah and Federal Territory of Sabuan. TNB supplies electricity to approximately 9.8 million customers. TNB corporate slogan since its privatization is Bergerak Kemajuan Negara or Powering the Country. Since 2013, the business has introduced the latest slogan which is Better, Brighter. For the industry analysis is growth circle of industry. For in Malaysia, TNB's demand, the demand for electricity is still increasing with their user 9.8 million. For international portfolio, TNB international business, the turnaround exercise of asset in Turkey and India has led to a return of profitable contribution from associate. For the fundamental analysis, we analyze four ratio, which is liquidity ratio, profitability ratio, leverage ratio, and common stock ratio. For the liquidity ratio, the current ratio is decreasing from 2017 to 2019. It indicates that the Tenaga Nasional Berhad maybe have difficulty to pay its current obligation in that time, but when it's come in 2019, maybe they have something difficulty in make a payment on time. For quick ratio also decreasing, it's because the Tenaga Nasional has better overall liquidity, particularly in the year 2017. For the leverage ratio, the increase of debt to equity ratio from 2017 to 2019 means that Tenaga Nasional Berhad keep higher the leverage and has a lack of equity position. Then for debt asset ratio show a good indicator because the ratio slowly increase, but it still keep as a lower, so the more committed the shareholder are in managing the business. For time interest earned, even it keep decreasing, Tenaga Nasional Berhad still have enough cash to continue spending in industry despite having settled its debt. For the profitability ratio, ROA for TNB increasing, so the company efficient in generating profit using its asset in the year 2018 until 2019. For ROE also increasing, it means Tenaga Nasional Berhad performance is very good. However, net profit margin it decreased, so the company maybe need to upgrade their sale during the next year to become more effective. For common stock ratio, even trend EPS decreasing, but the EPS of this company are still good because there is no history that the EPS goes for negative for the past 3 years. For price earning ratio are the increasing, so this company have positive future performance and make investor have willing to pay more for this company share. For the technical analysis, we analyze four, which is MACD, relative strength index, moving average, and lastly support and resistance. For the MACD, stand for moving average convergent divergence. The graph is showing fluctuated trend as well. But beginning from November, the graph start increasing. Then the investors start to buy the stock. It's maybe they think the price will keep increasing. But start for December, the price low is sloping down. For relative strength index, stand for RSI, the graph is showing fluctuated trend and there is selling pressure as well. But for the February, March, and November, the graph showing under oversold. And start in the middle of the November, the graph is showing upper overbought. For the moving average, the graph is showing the share price as fluctuated. It shows that the company is in a downward trend and this means sales signals. For the support and resistance, the graph is showing the price is sloping down, then start increase in November. Then the share price sometimes look fluctuated due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NAZIFAH binti Nazir. My metric number 263808, and I would like to present about the MBank Group.
MBank Group.
AMMB Holdings, the holding company of MBank Group, is the sixth largest banking group in Malaysia that have the asset with market capitalization around the 11.6 billion and asset of 137.9 billion at 31st March 2018. Since 1988, MBank Group has been listed in the Bursa Malaysia. Industry analysis of MBank Group. Growth cycle of industry. Domestic capital markets have been orderly and tolerant of domestic finance intermediation amid bouts of chaos. Revenues of Malaysia Government Security (MGS) were mainly influenced by external factors with 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years of MGS yields raised by 24, 23, and 4 basis points respectively. Fundamental analysis of MBank Group. For liquidity ratio, the current ratio shows that the highest current ratio it is recorded in year 2018, which is 1.147. It shows the company have very high and stable cash liquidity for that particular year. For quick ratio, it shows by 1.101 in year 2018. Of leverage ratio, the first was debt equity ratio. This ratio in the company shows in increasing value from year 2017 to 2019. The second one was debt to equity ratio. In 2017, the debt-to-equity ratio is 7.34 and decreased in year 2018 at 7.28. The ratio increased rapidly on 2018 at 7.92. The next one was debt profitability ratio. The first one was the net profit margin. The number of net profit margin became lower in 2019. The company have to upgrade their sales during the next year to become more effectively. Second one, return on assets. From the analysis, the MBank Group is not efficient in generating profit using its asset in the year 2019 compared to 2018 and 2017. And the last one, return on equity. MBank Group shows in the 2019 is not good since the ratio are decreased from the 2017 and 2018. Last fundamental analysis is common stocks. So common stock have two things to be analyzed, which is earning per share and the price earning ratio. For earning per share of this company are still good because there is no history that the EPS goes for negative for the past 3 years, and for the price earning ratio of this company is 11 on 2017 and slightly decreased to 10 on 2018, and on 2019 is decreased to 9. Technical analysis of MBank Group. For MACD, starting December, the line turned back to bearish signal, which comment that the stock price will start to fall because MACD line start to move downward and cross below the signal line. The investor can consider whether to sell their stock to avoid loss or continue hold their stock. For relative strength index, starting December, the change happened where the line moving downward from 70% to 30%, and they also have situation where the line moving below the 30% that considered as oversold. Moving average based on graph, the MA line from August 2022 to November 2020 continues fall, and it shows that the company is in a downward trend, and this means a sell signals. The last one, support and resistance. The resistance level for MBank holding MBank Group is 3.88 6 during the trading days, which means the price is more likely to bounce off his level rather than break through.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is MAISARAH binti Muhammad Asri and my metric number is 263942 and I will present the OCK Group Berhad. The company analysis of OCK Group Berhad. Company profile. OCK Group Berhad was established in year 2000 and the headquarters in Shah Alam, Malaysia. In 2012, OCK Group was listed on the ACE market of Bursa Malaysia on the 7th July and was being transferred to the main market in year 2014. Aspiration of the group as when the group successfully penetrated into the high growth towers. The tower company was shown tower market for telco in Myanmar and Vietnam within a short time period of 14 months. Telecommunication Network Service (TNS). First, core business and growing fast. 2, leading company to supply telco network service in Malaysia. This is a show the client of OCK Group Berhad. We have Digi, Huawei, Umobile, and so on. Fundamental of OCK Group Berhad. Liquidity ratio. OCK Group Berhad have fluctuation trend for current ratio and quick ratio. The higher current ratio show the most liquid, and the higher current ratio at 2018 with the ratio 1.63. For quick ratio, increase also in 2018 with the higher ratio at 1.39. It means OCK Group Berhad has better overall liquidity among the 3 years. EPS OCK Group Berhad show increased ratio from 2017 with ratio 12 cent to 13 cent in 2018 and 2019. The ratio for 2018 and 2019 have remained constant with ratio about 13 cent. Price earning ratio OCK Group Berhad show bearish and fluctuation for 2017 until 2019. The ratio decreased from 23 ringgit to 21 ringgit at 2018, but increased in 2019. The high price earning ratio could mean that the OCK Group Berhad stock is overvalued or the investor expecting growth rate in the future. Profitability ratio. The net profit margin show enhancement from 2017 to 2019. Net profit margin are one of the most important indicator of OCK Group Berhad financial health. The higher net profit margin help investor assess if the company's management is generating enough profit from its sale and whether operating costs and overhead costs are being contained. For ROA, return on asset, the company shows bearish and not much different. For a falling ROA indicate this company might have overinvested in asset. For ROE, which is return on equity, show declining in 2019 from 2017. Even the percentage of decreasing not much, still the company are becoming less efficient and creating profit and increasing shareholder value. The technical analysis of OCK Group Berhad. This is the chart of OCK Group Berhad for technical analysis. MACD. During March 2020, the line slightly turned down. It is because that time the Malaysia government has announced the Movement Control Order (MCO) that caused of the coronavirus. From the chart above, the relative strength index RSI indicator can stay in the overbought while the stock is in an uptrend. From the chart, during the downtrend, the RSI will peak around 50%, which could be used by investor to more reliable signal bearish condition. Next is moving average. Based on the technical chart above, from May 2020 to December 2020 shows that bearish and continue falling the share price of the single line. For the support and resistance, a breakout is when the stock rises above resistance. For example, in the chart above, starting April 2020 until July 2020, the stock continued to drop after the breakdown below diagonal support.
So here is the conclusion of our analysis. Okay, as we can see from this table, our stock trading table, we started trading from 16 November to 11 December 2020. Even many industries and companies face uncertainties due to the COVID-19, which impact their stock prices, but we still managed to gain RM 3,295 ringgit. So that ends our analysis. Thank you so much.